Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. Before we get underway, I would like to provide an update from the North Carolina Courage regarding the contract termination of Sean Nahas. The termination stemmed from a combination of compounding performance issues, culture issues, and a perceived lack of fit that created an environment that club leadership felt was untenable to the point that change was necessary at the head coaching position. I understand there may be some more questions on this here tonight. As we begin this post-match availability, I'd like to introduce acting head coach Nathan Thackeray. I'll ask for Nathan to make an opening statement regarding the match tonight. I'll then open it up to questions for those using their raise hand function on the call. Nathan, with that, if you could please provide an opening statement on tonight's match.
Yeah, thanks, Jake. Appreciate that. Honestly, a little disappointed, to be honest. I feel like we deserve so much more out of the game. We took some risks to try and come away with a really positive result and not just a result. And unfortunately, it didn't pan out for us, and maybe going for it a little bit too much cost us in the final minutes. And to be honest, I thought for large periods of the game we were really good. First 30 minutes was good, and then after the water break, the turnover for the goal kills us. And we wobble in for the next 15, 20 minutes until we got into half time. And then the second half, I actually thought the performance was really positive. Still lacking quality in the final third, wasteful in moments where we win the ball back and then turn it over, or we get into good positions and the final pass is not good enough, or the final run's not good enough, or we're slightly offside. Those are things that we need to continue to work on and really, really apply into the training weeks. But for the most part, I was really happy with the performance. And as I just told the team at the end, I refuse to let this team be defined by wins and losses. It's going to be defined by their character, their work ethic, their ability to bounce back from things that are a little bit more difficult, like this result and obviously the past couple of days. So yeah, disappointed, but overall, with the performance, it was a positive performance, I would suggest.
Thank you, Nathan. We'll now turn it over to questions. Dan Laletta, please lead us off.
Thank you. Nathan, can you hear me?
Yes, Dan. Yeah, I can.
Excellent. Just curious, it's only been a couple days since the change. Just how is the team doing emotionally, and what is maybe a tweak or two that you think you would want to put into the team now that you're calling the shots?
Yeah, I actually think the team's been great emotionally. We had a good conversation with management on Thursday. Sorry, it's Friday now. We then chatted when we got into market into Houston last night and discussed a couple of things more, and then told them that everything from Friday onwards is full focus on our ability to get better, perform well, and get results. So they've been great, good spirits, really great togetherness. I think you saw the performance tonight, and honestly, you can see it in the disappointment at them at the end of the game when we were speaking. So from that standpoint, I'm not too worried about that. What am I going to do to apply certain things? I think the style of play that we've had over the last 4 or 5 years has been good. I think there's layers to it that we need to continue to add, and for me, it's all in the final third, and that's why I commented on it tonight. And our ability to sort of stretch lines, make bigger spaces for the midfielders, Ash, Manaka, Jay, those creative players that can play final line breaking balls and create opportunities for us. So the more we can add threats to the last line, movements in behind from deeper, combinations in the final third to create more issues and more problems for the opposition, the better we'll be. Obviously, we haven't had a chance to work on it massively. I do think it's probably the biggest point of emphasis for I guess for however long that I'm in this role. Thanks, Dan.
Thank you.
Pat Welter, go ahead.
Hey, Nathan, what's it been like just kind of going through this the last couple of days? Obviously, you worked closely with Sean for a long time, and then having to turn around and get the team ready to go and play tonight.
Yeah, it's not been easy. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, I've worked with Sean for a long time, and worked closely with him both at with our youth club in North Carolina, with the North Carolina FC, and then obviously in the pro team since we moved here into Raleigh in 2017. I'm disappointed for him. Obviously, it's tough for me to take, and I don't want to ever see anyone suffer. But Unfortunately, professional sports can have a brutal side to it as well. So I know that I need to lead the team in the best way that I possibly can, and I'll continue to do that as much as I can until I'm told otherwise.
Tamara, go ahead.
Hi, Coach. I'm wondering if you can talk a little bit about conversations that you may have had or guidance that you may have given to players like Jaden Shaw, who, when she signed with the Courage, both she and Sean spoke about, the conversations that they'd had and how those conversations really played a role in her wanting to sign with the team. At the same time, her performance tonight, was refreshing, and it seemed like there was a side of her that she hadn't been able to really express in a while. So if you can just talk about, how players like her had been sort of transitioning to and navigating to the news this week, and how that may have shown up on the field tonight.
Yeah, I think for me, it's putting belief in Jaden to for her to understand that she can do the things that she really wants to do. She's a wonderfully talented football player. There's no question marks with her on the ball. For me, she has to believe that she can do the work off the ball and continue to push and work in out of possession actions, counter pressing actions. Those are the things. And I told her even after there was a moment in the first half, and she's been great in training and good in the sort of the 3 week or 5 week period where we had 3 games. She was good in those moments. And after 25 minutes or 30 minutes when we had the water break, there was a moment where she didn't do the counter press. And I said to her straight away, I was like, those are the moments where you have to be ready to go. Don't think about it, just go. Don't delay, just go. And she's like, yes, 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 I understand. So for her, it's just some belief. And I think she's a little shy in confidence as well, obviously coming in with a big expectation on her back for a young player. It's not easy to deal with. But for me, I've just a belief that she needs to instill in herself because we have it as a support group. The team has it as a teammate. So yeah, we're just here for it, and I keep just trying to push her to get the best out of her. That's all.
Caroline, go ahead.
Good evening. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to talk with us. I was just wondering more of a general question for the team as a whole. Is there any update on maybe next steps for finding a replacement for Sean, slash when will there kind of be a timeline in place for, finding the replacement?
That's a good
uh,
if you go ahead.
Yeah, I don't mind answering, Jake. To be honest, it's so fresh, and it's just happened right now. I don't believe there is any given timeline into finding a replacement. We're just obviously it happens a day before we play a game, so it's in the immediacy. I suggest that I'll be continuing in this role. What happens next? That's a question for the sporting director. I'm not sure. As of right now, there's as you can imagine, there's some clarity for the future that's not as clear as what we would like it to be right now. But that's because of these moments, and obviously we're not the first team that's lost a head coach, so we'll figure it out. We trust Kerry to put the right people in place, and whether that's bringing somebody in or that's me for the short future, I trust whatever his decision is.
Thank you. And just to follow up, can you offer any clarity on maybe when issues in culture or performance issues kind of were becoming prevalent to the team that kind of, maybe aided in this decision?
I think it's probably just an accumulation of things over time, and to be honest, to being a head coach in this league now for 4 years, eventually there's some things that happen and maybe affect the culture or impact the culture. And I think, as Kerry said yesterday, I think there's a lot of things that have maybe gone on that have gone beyond just the team, but maybe the front office as well. And from that moment, the club decided they needed to make a decision. I was shocked and surprised as anybody, but the club made the decision, and they haven't told us too much more other than that. So I'm giving you a very, very vague answer, but I don't really know. I don't really know where it's come from or where it stemmed from. But yeah, sometimes change is as good as rest. So we move forward.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks, Caroline.
Last call for questions. Okay, great. Nathan, thank you very much.
You guys enjoy your night.